Hello friends, welcome back to another session of EC Made Easy. After seeing some fundamentals about a two-layer device called diode, now it is time to see a three-layered semiconductor device called a transistor. Transistor, we have two types basically. One we call a bipolar junction transistor and the other one is field effect. So let's start our journey with what a bipolar junction transistor is and how it creates wonders and become a stepping stone into this new era of electronics and communication. Bipolar junction transistor is, as this said, is made up of three layers, wherein one layer or one type of semiconductor is sandwiched between two layers of other type of semiconductor. So this way, a p-type of semiconductor may be sandwiched between two n-type, forming a NPN transistor, or a n-type of semiconductor may be sandwiched between two p-types and forming a PNP transistor. So that's what a bipolar junction transistor could be made up of. It may be two n layers, and between one p layer or a n layer sandwiched between two p layers. Something it looks like this if you want to understand the working of it. So the three layers are called the emitter, base, and collector. Emitter, as the name suggests, it emits the mobile carriers, and collector, as the name suggests, is there to collect the emitted charge carriers. So the charge carriers are emitted through the emitter and they are passing through the base and they are going to be collected at the collector, and the base is the one which is going to modulate the speed or the amount of carriers to pass through it. So there is a um, electrical mechanism which will make sure how much quantity of charge carriers to be allowed through the base from emitter and to reach the collector. So for doing this wonder, some basic requirements are there. Otherwise, this wonder cannot be accomplished. Number one is about the size. Emitter should be of moderate size. The collector should be of large size, and the base should be very, very small in size. Second thing is the amount of impurities added to these layers. That is what the doping concentration, you can say. The emitter is heavily doped, base very lightly doped, and the collector is moderately doped. One, emitter. Its main purpose is to emit. Therefore, the heavy doping is going to create a large number of free charge carriers that will uh, start this conduction. The base is very lightly doped. That means it's not going to begin any conduction process, but yes, it can modulate this conduction process. And the collector is moderately doped. It needs charge carriers, but not as heavy as emitters, because its purpose is not to emit, it's only to collect it, and it should have good participation in conduction of current, and hence it's moderately doped. Second, the emitter size doesn't make much difference, but it should be a moderate size with a heavy concentration of the doping. With the moderate size, very large number of charge carriers are generated. So if you talk about number of charge carriers, emitter very large number of charge carriers are generated. Base, very small number of charge carriers, and the collector, moderate amount of charge carriers are generated. And this configuration, the moderate size of emitter, heavily doped emitter, creating large number of free charge carriers, lightly doped base with a small size, going to create very small amount of charge carriers in the base, and heavy moderately doped collector with a big size is going to make quite a good number of carriers for conduction. The big size is required because the collector is the one which gets heated up after collecting the charge carriers, and there is large amount of surface is required for dissipating this heat. So for that purpose, the size of the collector is very large. More details to follow. So these are the main requirements. Only then the three-layered bipolar junction is going to create wonders. How does it do? So let's check out in our next session. Till then, take care. Bye.